for you. You can't wear it on your chest, but you can feel it in your heart. And I hope it brings you comfort when this world grows dark. Let it echo through the madness, let the message pull you through. This is our medal of honor to you.
Now back to Armed Forces Weekly with Donna Lyons on TSPN.
Welcome back. I'm with my guest, Renee Davis, with Amador Calvaris Hospice, and we were just talking about the program that you guys have over there, We Honor Veterans, which is a veteran-to-veteran run program. I mean, is that how you'd say it?
Our volunteer program that we're setting up. But what will be happening is if someone was on service and they were a veteran, the clinicians from all levels, all disciplines, social workers down to the, to the nurses, to the home health aides would understand that that person is a veteran. They may have some special needs. Right. So that would be on-staff people, but we also have our volunteers under that vet-to-vet program. Right. So it's a whole, everybody's involved.
I just love it. Now, do they actually go to people's homes?
Our hospice?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, the veterans too? I mean,
yes.
They will actually go and visit?
Yes.
That's got to make them feel good that they can sit and talk to another veteran. It's like a different, people always say that, I mean, you hear military service members always say this, that you never understand unless you were in the military.
That's correct.
And they have this bond that just is never broken.
And I don't know the history as to what started the program itself. After the National Hospice and VA realized this was an important thing that needed to be addressed as far as their specific physical and social needs regarding veterans' end-of-life needs. But I'm not sure what the background is for understanding that who would be the best person. I'm sure it had to have just clicked that who better to understand that camaraderie, that common language, no matter what the difference of war they perhaps were in, they would understand each other and have a trust that we would never be able to gain as a non-veteran.
Right, and you do hear that from people all the time. They say you just will never understand. You won't understand. A lot of people say, I want to go back. I want to go back into service. Nobody understands me here. Yeah. So, incredible way to honor our veterans too by doing this program. It's amazing. So now we were kind of cracking up when you came in because I have my little owie, which is run by my friend Gina Woods, and Owie Bow Wowie. She helps children in hospitals, but it kind of triggered an emotion in you because you have a little bear that you keep
I do.
The Purple Heart.
So as we were starting this program, and I was doing a first in service with the group at Hospice, and I went in to get ready that morning, and I noticed that this little bear that means a lot to me had the Purple Heart that my uncle had given to me. He was a Vietnam veteran, and he passed away 2 years ago, and it was a very difficult. He was not at peace at his end of life, and he seemed fine up until then, as far as mentally had put all that stuff behind him. And when I went in that morning to prepare, and I happened to see the bear sitting there with the little Purple Heart, stuck into his little cute little chest, and it said, to myself, I instantly said, how is it that I don't know why my uncle received that honor? Because he just didn't speak of it. And then when I asked family members, no one knew. And it just really resonated with me that this program is exactly what I've been reading and understanding, this stoicism that these amazing men and women have that worked beautifully for them when they were on the battlefield. I mean, at all costs, do what you have to, don't give up, don't leave anyone behind, is fabulous on the battleground. But at end of life, when you need to let go and accept where you are today, it really does interfere with that peace in that process. And we saw that, unfortunately, with my uncle. And I didn't realize, not being close enough to the situation at time, my mom was being very protective as to what was going on. And I didn't know firsthand. And every time I'd go, seemed fine. And then later I found that was a case. And heartbreaking, but just like with our patient, you just want to learn from it. So that's what we're trying to do. We don't want anyone else on our service to go through not knowing that they were understood, that they were honored and thanked one more time.
Yeah.
And that someone, better understands what they're going through.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. I just finished co-authoring. I did an Army Wives book, but we did a nursing book. It's part of the series that we're doing.
Great.
And in that nursing book, I interviewed a hospice nurse, Dawn Forrest, who is just her story is just amazing. But she talks about what it is to have this gift, to be able to be with that person when you're helping them, leave this world. And she talks about, what it's like. And so I read this story, and it really makes you feel a little more spiritual, too, after you see what these people go through. So I hope everybody will read that book, too, when it comes out, because it touches the heart, and it actually would help people see a little bit about this program as well, because it talks about, what people have to go through.
Right.
And the family, too. I mean, how are the families connected to this program? How do you involve them?
Again, since it's so new, we're still learning and
Yeah.
Stepping up our skills so that we can help these men and women. But from what I can see, looking through some of the presentations, all these resources that are available on that website, there are specific lists of things that we're going to learn about how to better equip the caregiver as well, so that they can, again, because one of the books I've been reading in conjunction with learning this program is Deborah Grossman. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's a hospice nurse for 25 years, and she's part of the grassroots program that helped start this whole We Honor Veterans organization, and an amazing woman as well. And she talks about in some of her books, Peace at Last being the one I'm currently reading. And it talks about exactly that, that these family members don't understand. They think they're doing a good thing by you're doing great, Dad, you're being strong. It's like, no, you need to let them say it's okay to go.
Right.
It's okay.
Don't try to keep them there any more than they need to be. And that's what mentally they start thinking, I can't let go. And you hear these stories, too, about people that, I remember my grandmother, when she was dying, we knew we had the priest come over and everything, we thought this was it. And she held on until my uncle got to the house and walked in that door and saw her. She held on. And the minute he left, not even 2 minutes after that, she died.
We hear that a lot.
I know, it's just crazy how that works. So I can't
really
imagine
do.
the stories that you see filter through there that are just amazing, but, heartwarming as well.
Exactly. Well, ironically, the chapter I just finished last night talked specifically about that exact thing. It was a Marine he was just in a bad place, having a tough time into life. He was at the Bayview, I believe, hospice in Florida, and he was just having a very tough time. Right. And the daughter finally came and just, better equipped after talking to Deborah, and just said, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay to go.
And with that, it wasn't that much longer that he was able to go in peace.
And isn't that so nice when you see it so peaceful? And what they're going through, you say mentally everything's coming back up and they're starting to remember things, and to have something so peaceful happen to them is a blessing.
Oh,
it's
completely.
just a true blessing. I mean,
Exactly.
it's amazing. So,
well, especially for the fact that they haven't thought of these things for years.
That's
Again,
so
these
crazy.
family members that will say, my dad hasn't talked about the war in ages, or a spouse will say, he never spoke of it. When he got home, it was a closed chapter, and now all of a sudden they're speaking things, or they're having angst, or they're having remorse, or some of that guilt, that survivor's guilt has re-emerged, that type of thing. And because we are seeing, unfortunately, in addition to our amazing World War II and Korean War vets, we're now seeing our amazing Vietnam vets starting to pass, and that's what's also hard. As we know, that was a difficult time. Those amazing men and women came back to a whole different world when they came back to the United States.
So different.
And one of the things that they talk specifically in the program about is, again, under each particular military era or war, understanding that person's where they came from. Do they have a positive experience or a negative experience of remembering that part of their past? And as you know, as you can probably, I should say, guess, the Vietnam veterans, a lot of them, collectively say that they came back to not a pleasant welcome and not a thank you, but sometimes the opposite, and it's just heartbreaking.
It is. Oh, that just, but it kills
And
me.
so one of the things they talk about is it's never too late to tell them again, thank you. So every time I see a Vietnam vet, I remind them again how much we
I do
appreciate them.
too.
It's so important. I mean, every veteran I do.
I always
but
say
mean,
welcome home too. I don't care how many
Yes.
times I've heard it now. For me, I need to say welcome home because I watch them come home. You know, you see it on TV and
Yeah.
you look back in the past and go, my gosh, how could we as a nation be that way?
I know, but I look at it as, you know what, it happened in the past, you know, so we
Learning
remind
experience.
them, right, we that happened, but we
Yeah.
can fix today, and I'm telling you today, we're thrilled you're here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we thank you. So again, I'm hoping this will also help, you know, those amazing people as well.
And now you were telling me about your sister too. I just want to quickly talk about what she does.
Sure,
She
absolutely.
does
My
boots on the
sister-in-law,
ground.
my sister-in-law is amazing, and Judy Zoll, and she is a Marine mom, and an amazing nephew. You just finished 10 years of service with the Marines,
Aw,
Major
thank
Select.
you to him.
Amazing. Did 5 tours, I do believe. Just
Oh,
extraordinary man. And my sister-in-law got involved when he went off to his first mission, and she's with Boots on the Ground. And so she works with Dr. Jill Biden and the group, and just absolutely loves it. And
So tell
does a lot
everybody
of
what
work.
Boots on the Ground is.
Actually, I wish I could tell you so much more about it. I mean, I just hear how much she just does as far as helping connect families with needs and when they return from service.
That's
you know,
amazing.
So,
Well,
but
thank
we'll have
you
to get
to
her
your
on too.
nephew.
But I just know how much she
Yes.
is always working on it and loves it. It's such a great mission. So
That's it, and
Exactly.
it's amazing she's working with the Bidens. I do know that Mrs. Obama does a lot of work too with the veterans, and they have created quite a few programs with big organizations that are
Right.
helping veterans find jobs, which is another
Exactly.
big thing we need to deal with in this country too,
Oh,
because a lot
completely.
of them are losing their homes and things like that, and it's not
Heartbreaking.
okay. It's not fair, and hopefully people out there hear this and they can reach out and give veterans jobs, because I think that's like number one right now.
So true. Yes. In fact, that amazing nephew was saying he's in the same thing, wanting to get his master's. And that's something that you just, thank you for your service, and now it's time to find
exactly.
it.
So let's run through really quick. You want to give people the, also you said if people would like you to come out and speak at any
Absolutely.
of the VFWs or the posts or
Absolutely.
anything like that.
Myself or Dan Reardon, our amazing executive director, does a great job of talking about this program as well and just getting the word out. If someone is interested in being either hearing more about our program themselves in their group, in their community to reach more veterans, or if they think they'd like us to talk about the veteran-to-veteran
And do you have a
volunteer
contact
program.
information, so if somebody can
Absolutely.
contact you directly?
Sure. Again, that number is same as Ann, 223-5500.
And the website one more time?
Is wehonorveterans.org.
Oh, I'm so excited you were on. I want to
you.
come over and see you. I'd like to do
I'd
a
love
show
it.
over there and maybe come over and talk to you guys and see the facility and show it to everybody.
That'd be
So
great.
they kind of know what's going on over there.
That'd be great, Donna. Thank
And
you so much.
I know you'll be on again, so.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Renee. And
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for tuning in. Be here next week when we have another guest. We'll read the news and have a good time next week. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again.